Yes.
Cheyenne. Glass.
Yes.
Peacock.
Yes.
As we get started here, Aaron's going to go through operational items. There will also be a session after this, not tonight, but later on, where Aaron and I and Bob talk, where we then lay out infrastructure part of the capital improvement for Aaron. So where do we see expansion coming? Where might we be extending sewer? What might those future plans look like? Where are we ready? Where are we not? Depending on where infrastructure comes. But this is Aaron's operational, so vehicles, equipment, facilities for his operations.
I'm up.
Apparently.
First for a
Wonderful.
change, yeah.
Well, in front of you is pretty basic spreadsheet of what Public Works' current needs are, current vehicles, current facilities, what we'd like to see, and then the back page is the capital improvement vehicle, I guess the fleet page that you were asked us to put together here a couple months back, so I just wanted to keep that in front of you guys as far as replacement years, things like that, and try and get everybody, not just us, but all departments, hopefully on a replacement schedule for vehicles, so everything's not a surprise all at once. But knowing that, pickups probably the 6 to 8 year range, go and replace. But I guess I'd like to start with facility planning. Currently working out of a 1-car garage that doesn't accommodate everything we need. Doesn't hold all our stuff. We have a lot of equipment sitting outside behind City Hall. Just a lot of valuable stuff sitting around that shouldn't be outside and being weather beaten and chance for it to disappear. But other than that, like I said, it's a 1-car garage there for the shop. Snow removal, we've got nowhere to get vehicles inside to melt off in a storm, afterwards to clean. A blade breaks, we break a plow bolt or a mount or anything, it's laying outside on the approach to the shop in the middle of a blizzard trying to work on stuff. So it's well past time. I know everybody's tight on space, but this is long overdue. And something that I think, after talking to Kirk a little bit and getting numbers from Christie, that we could we could swing without any effect to the general fund or bonding capacity for other projects that also probably need to take place. So the plan would be to build a shop/office space south of town at the wastewater plant on ground that we already own, so there'd be no cost in land acquisition. Water, sewers there, power's there. Probably have a fee getting natural gas down there. The closest gas that Kirk and I have talked to Black Hills is at the Casey's corner of 141. So don't know if there would be a fee to us as we develop down that way, whether it was something we'd pay up front and get credit back as development went in, or whether the utility company would put that in, but there would be probably a cost on that. So.
Is there any appetite for a propane stopgap until we do get infrastructure down there?
We could.
Okay.
We could, yeah.
I do have a number to get gas down there.
Okay.
On Performa on Lane Pitts ground from last year.
Okay.
Last spring. So, might save you a phone call. We'll get you close.
Okay, all right.
It'd be good for us to touch base with Mark Ernst, who comes to the economic development meetings and stuff at Black Hills.
Okay.
He'd be on board with helping that, getting Jared's information,
Okay.
and see if we can lean on him.
And we don't want to integrate this into like the new City Hall building.
No, I mean, there's space needs, and I think we have the time. I think let's just kind of talk about size, and Aaron's looked at a few structures that could be adequate, and he can give some examples of that for you guys, but I think it'd be good for us to just talk about needs and where, and Not that this is gonna be an inexpensive build, but what he can accomplish with this versus what we're gonna do with an office front, this can be built a whole lot better for the money. And I think you might as well go into what you're talking about on size and maybe some examples that you're looking at.
Size, 60, looking right now, 60 foot's about the deepest we can go without incurring extra expense on roof trusses, sheeting, everything. They get exponentially more expensive if you go any deeper on a building than 60 foot. So 60 foot wide or 60 foot deep, looking at 100 and probably 140, 120 to 144 foot long, somewhere in there, just depends on price breaks. And then a 30 by 30 shorter, probably 10 foot tall. We do 16 foot sidewalls on a shop portion, but like a 30 by 30 for office, restrooms, file storage to get file cabinets that are full of maps and plans and stuff out of City Hall, get everything in one building where it needs to be, and accommodate for now, but also short the future also a little bit.
I'm assuming you're talking stick build?
Yes, yep, probably post building.
Okay.
Skin, floor, interior, wash bay. Yeah,
Whole thing's heated?
yes, yep.
Main part of the garage space, are you looking at dirt or concrete for the,
For the floor,
yeah,
concrete throughout, yeah.
okay.
Probably look at radiant floor heat as being efficient, especially for vehicles. And
Like what we do with this meeting is kind of get it all flushed out, get your thoughts, get a comfort, maybe give some feedback, you know, and here in the near future, we'd like to get some type of spec put together and say, here's, you know, and then have that discussion, whether we do it all at once or if we do it in phases. I think we're open to have that discussion, but if we do it in phases, have a short runway, not lengthen it out years.
Have you gotten like quote, like where's the 600 coming from?
a rough quote plus a little bit from somebody. I haven't done, before we have this conversation, I wasn't real hip on going, I shouldn't say wasting, but going and burning bridges on, hey, can you give me prices? People get sick of hearing that until I have a rough budget number and kind of a consensus, okay, let's kind of take a look at this, then we could dial down a little more and get some firmer numbers on things. Different options on size and what we could do for price-wise for.
So I guess what happens if we exceed the number potentially that I guess we budget for? I guess what it.
We would go out, we would seek firm bids before we commit anything. And I think we have pretty, Aaron has some examples of other structures that have been built and no more complicated than the project is. I think we can nail it pretty close. And that's why he wanted to bring that, you know, I suggested let's just have a conversation tonight, let the council hear the numbers, you know, of how tall that line, how long, what we're looking to put in it, and then kind of over the next couple of weeks get that feedback and give him the ability to go out and get some numbers and then determine, is it phased in? Do we just bite the bullet and publicly bid it? Do we do pieces of it over a certain time frame? But we're at the point, and he has a lot of equipment up at City Hall, you know, from trucks to attachments, and you know, they're working out a one-car garage. And eventually, this will fit into the plan to get Main Street cleaned up.
Are you renting any of the space across the street?
No,
Okay.
And this is separate than what we've been talking about during like the budget meetings, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I like how you broke out the annual payment.
Yep.
The 300,000 down, how would you divide that up?
that would be some conversations to be had between the fund balances that I have above there listed, trying to figure out what we're comfortable pulling from where to get that 300.
But this would all be internal to those three fund balances, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yep,
So really, outside of those three, no obligation to the general budget,
absolutely
city, nothing
not.
like that?
Nope,
Okay, perfect.
yep. And then I just ran numbers at 6% interest, yeah, if it was 600, 6% interest, it'd be about 41 a year. If we did if I was just kind of knocking down 50 at a time, so if I had to do 250, it'd be 34 a year. If I did 200, it'd be about 28 a year, so just to give you a rough idea of where we'd be.
And with the 600,000 and kind of what you've got in mind,
Yep,
that's gonna be good for you guys for,
that would see me out of here, and I've
Okay.
got, yeah,
Okay.
I've got quite a while left, but
you
yeah.
have plenty of space, plenty of bays.
Yes,
Okay,
yep,
perfect.
yep. Unless we take off and rocket in growth, yeah, but then I think if I'm behind on space after this, we'll be right back at square one, everybody will be
Yeah.
clamoring for more space as a town.
And that's 60 by 120 is decent, 120 is, 120 is big.
How many bays is that, 5, 6? something?
60 by 120, I was gonna do 4 20-foot doors in,
Okay,
just to get a little wider door, I can get 2 vehicles back the other side,
Yeah.
not have a wall full of 14-foot doors.
yep,
Yeah, I originally started at 120 or 120, talking to some people. I'd like to probably incorporate a wash bay on the end, just to have a place to clean equipment, and that was where the difference between 120 and 144. Really don't want to eat into a 120-foot building with the wash bay, but adding that space and having the ability to pull a truck in and
No, that was the best decision we made. That camp I used to work in the summer, when they did it, they
Yeah.
ended up going by, same
Yeah.
thing, that extra
Yeah.
20 feet for that bay, it just makes.
And I went off, I don't know if any of you guys have been out, Jester Park, Polk County's public, or their conservation's building, the green shed right as you get to the Jester Park entrance, that's a 60 by 120. But they've got office bathrooms and stuff into that. I'd like to keep that out and just have a shop, have a wash bay, and then office, break room.
Right.
Washer, dryer, laundry type of, those in a separate portion of it.
Yeah, so post frame and then 10 outside, 10 on the inside.
Yeah.
Other than the 30 by 30 office, we would look at framing that out, probably sheet rock or something like that.
Yeah.
I guess I have a question about, so when you're pulling the 300 out of the fund balances over the next 10 years, so that's the fund balance that we approve for like each fiscal year, right? I mean,
No, road use, water and sewer they are what they are. The revenue comes in.
Oh, okay.
It's in those. It's not really budgetary approved, I guess.
Gotcha.
It's not like a general fund, like streets. I have to come bring you, I did that. The 300 would come out of that. The additional, the next 10 years payments, I would take out of those three, not out of the fund balances, but out of my annual revenue. I would incorporate that into the budget and the line items that you guys see at budget time.
gotcha.
I think. Christie, do you have anything? Okay.
So situationally moving forward with that, if the guys here want to move forward with that, do they just give permission then to move forward and start getting, I mean, you would know more about this, but you'd think a bunch of local guys that do this type of work would want their hands on this stuff.
I would think so. I think you're 150 light, but even that, 750s. Stretch it out another 5 years, it's a fixed asset, we pay some interest on it. It's not like a vehicle that just goes to
Yeah.
crap.
And we can do that. I mean,
I don't
We
know
don't
what your
need
guys'
to talk
take is, I
all
don't mind
the way
paying
into the
interest on something
get a
like
chance to
that.
do it once, I want to do it
But-
right.
Yeah, do it right the first time, yeah.
And that's why we want to give time. We're, as much as we like to have approval tonight, the main thing was to get the concept in front of you, here's how it can be paid for, here's the size. Let you digest that, think about it, and then, kind of get a final direction and move forward from there. And make, if there are questions you have that we need to make the picture more clear, ask us those questions and, maybe you could go meet with Aaron and we can go down and show you the site, at the sewer plant, plenty of room down there. And already have facilities, and it's kind of a natural, it's a good spot to have it.
Where's,
plant and sewer plants down there, so.
where's the building you're currently working out of? Is it
Right
up,
next to
up
City
here?
Hall, the red brick building on the north side of City Hall.
That thing.
Just for,
Vintage 1920 nothing?
yeah, for rough, if Jared, like Jared said, if we want to do, I mean, I'll do whatever. If we did conservatively, I guess, figure 450 and did a 15-year note, 46.8 a year would be a rough annual payment.
No, I think he meant light.
No, I think,
Go the other way?
yeah, you need to go.
Going the other way.
750.
He thinks going towards 750.
No, that's what I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
You're saying,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, paying down the 3.
450 for, yeah, so 750
Financing
extra,
part,
yeah.
yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. that-
I'd be pretty comfortable saying I could come in under that. I just want some breathing room for, you know, water and sewer aren't there, but they're gonna take some work to get to the water main and to the east side of the sewer plant from where the building will sit. We're gonna do a backup generator for emergency power in storm situations or anything when we need access to our stuff. Last thing we need is no access and no power to operate. So that was a huge recommendation from Jason Van Osdol, our building inspector, who's done quite a bit on that side of planning and public or emergency readiness. And things
Right.
like that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So that number would give me some wiggle room on things like that that I don't have. And no, I don't have any idea what that would cost right now, but.
I would personally rather see you build in that 150,
Yeah.
just so you make sure you get everything you want and
Yeah.
everything you need. Personally, I think, from my point of view, there's not a question. I think it's something the city needs. I think it's something you guys need for the future. And with it all being self-contained, to me, it's a no-brainer. That's my opinion though. I can't speak for everybody else, but I think I would be comfortable starting down the road.
What's your guys' thoughts on maybe spending $500 to $7,500 with an architect? Or, I say architect lightly, like, I think when we did our building, I paid a guy $3,000 to come up with a good set of blueprints, that way I was getting apples to apple bids from everybody.
Right.
I personally think it's probably worth spending the $5 or $6 grand or whatever it is.
I will say we're gonna do that, if we're gonna work with local guys. The last thing we need is somebody breathing down our neck that, well,
Yeah.
he did this and got low, and, well, but I wasn't gonna do it that way.
Right.
Or a bid, we need to have that. spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I know we can't vote or say yes tonight, but can we all be in agreement that we should probably go spend that $5 grand-ish and
Yeah.
Yep.
do the napkin sketch and iron out the things and then take them the napkin?
And you guys give Aaron feedback on, let us know, are you comfortable, the 30 by 30 concept, the 60 by 144, what are you, 60 by 120? Do you want to get a feel for that? 16-foot eaves, 20-foot doors.
So do we give the architect the parameters we want them to design it to then?
Yeah,
yes,
I can send you the blueprints for it. Ours is 72 by 144.
yeah.
I don't know, I can take that and just say, take 10 feet off of it or leave.
Right.
And I can give you the guy's name. It's like, oh,
I like keeping the office space separate. I think
Yeah.
that's a great idea, and the wash bay everything you've said, I'm good with.
Maybe someone who's sitting in the council chambers right now, give us a deal.
Yeah, it's nice to keep separate because you have people coming to meet with
Right.
you all the time.
Yep.
Okay, so any follow-up questions we're just gonna pass along his way?
20-foot side walls instead of 16, but that's my personal preference.
Give some height for storage.
Yeah,
I mean, mezzanines are cheap.
right?
It
Yeah.
doesn't cost much more to go another floor.
No, Right. No, I mean, I can do that. I was trying to, yeah.
Come swing by ours and look, it's literally 10-foot
Yeah.
difference than what you're describing, so.
Okay.
And I'll tell you everything I hate about it.
When you want it built by?
Yesterday? No, just, I mean, methodically work through it and kind of, yeah, get plans. And I'd like to get going if we're gonna do something here, yeah, summer. If we, yeah, if we could get a building up and tinned and enclosed by winter and go from there, then that would be fantastic.
Just get most of everything
There's
you need inside.
Yeah, there's some utility stuff, interior utility stuff, trade stuff that I've got, staff, myself and other staff that over the winter would have some things to do in there and be able to upgrade a little bit and not be radiant heat or infloor heat versus, forced air or infrared 2 heat or something like that, that we'd be able to do in-house, so.
I'm not looking to travel.
I will say, as far as a change order perspective, on the electrical, spend some time laying that out.
Yep.
So when we did ours, I talked to 3 different electrical contractors, basically showed them, or gave them an address, they went and looked at it, this is what we want, ended up being like $70,000 more than the original bid, based on what MP wanted. That was the only thing we went over on our entire build.
Yeah, so if we take our time, get
Yeah.
your feedback, and then Aaron, we can get the specs put together, get something, bring the specs back to the council, and get you to sign off on it, and get bids.
When we go to that employee like timing system, I assume, would there be any additional cost to having like multiple places?
It's just app-based and internet-based, so, yeah, no. No.
All right?
Moving on.
Plow truck.
Where to start? I guess, start the current vehicles we have down there. The 2 2020 Rams, we've had some short conversations, Kirk and I've had a few longer ones about those. They're eating my shorts on budget every year. As far as maintenance, repairs, the usefulness of them the rest of the year. They'll move a lot of snow with the blades on the front, but they're too big and not economical for use the rest of the year. On top of the, every time it seems like you get snow, we're $1,500, $4,000, $5,000 repairs on the frame. The blades are too heavy for those trucks. They found out after, a couple of years of running those. My plan would be sell the 2 2020s soon. I'm looking probably in the 60 to 70 a piece. I think we could probably get out of them. That might be a stretch with the winter we had. There's a lot of people dumping equipment right now. So whether that'll bring the going rate for all trucks down or not would be, but they're also a truck that with the dump box and everything on the back that I hope we can find a start out landscaping company, somebody like that that could utilize not only the snow side of it, but dump box and that stuff. But I'd like to be able to sell those 2, use those proceeds off of those 2 towards, so not to change gears, but towards offsetting the dump truck, plow truck. And then last budget and this current budget, I had budgeted for couple 3/4 ton pickups. Ford made a model change last year, so I withheld spending money on a year 1 model change pickup last year. It's still sitting in road use tax, I didn't spend it anywhere else. So I'd like to get the 2 to not get rid of my 2016 that I drive, but roll that to reserve. It's a truck that runs reliable, has a blade on it, but is up there in miles and years, 11 years, 10 years old, it could be 11 this summer. And then, so if we did that, next year, we'd have 2 3/4 ton pickups, a dump truck, and the 2017 5500 with the utility box on it for snow. So we'd be a net even on snow equipment, but we gain one or lose one truck for daily, but we don't need that many trucks sitting around not being used.
How many push snow?
4
And then how many,
4 plus what if we get this annexation goes through and the new developments continue, it won't be a full-time, but I'll probably start looking for some seasonal snow help to come in and help tackle new developments as they pop up.
so then would the one plow truck then replace the 2?
Essentially, I'd be
Rams?
getting rid of the 2 2020 Rams and replacing it with a dump truck. Replacing them with a full-size, yeah.
And then the 16 and the 17 still pushes snow?
The 17 would push snow, and we'd use the 2 new 3/4 tons. The 16 would be a backup.
I think there's a lot of discussion around dump trucks. What do we need, what do we want, what do we want to spend? I think we need to give some clarity to Aaron so that he can go look. I mean, we've talked anything from drastically used to brand new. And I think we need to merge that down and just have that discussion openly and say, what's your comfort level? What do you want to spend on a truck? He has found some pretty good deals. We lost out on one that was in,
225, 240, I think.
yeah,
It's a couple of years old. The county west of Minneapolis ordered a couple single axles and decided they didn't like them. They went back to double axle or twin axle.
I think we need to just, some of you didn't like used, some of you didn't like brand new. I just think we need to have that.
Yeah, the 350 is for brand new, right?
That would be top end, that
Yeah.
I've seen. That's, dealer price online of a couple. So once again, I put that out there like the building here. Can we discuss this knowing absolute max? Do I want to spend that? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
And that's fitted with a plow and a dump?
That would be 11 foot, probably 11 or 12 foot front blade, 10 or 11 foot wing blade, and dump truck or dump box, salt spreader. Yeah, ready to roll.
So philosophically, you look at, we're gonna need something bigger to do 110th, heading over to 121st. And a little bit of North Sycamore, you get up heading just south of the school, we see some decent drifting. So do we have a huge need for it? No. Do we have a need? We do. And so
We just talked about efficiency. You guys have been on efficiency, which is great. But we got 10 times less efficient when we got rid of the old Peterbilt and bought these. That one Peterbilt with the 10 foot loader, 10 or 11, whatever was on that, could run circles around what we've got now. Just the size, the weight, the ability to move down the road and clear snow.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I was wondering why we got rid of it.
That one didn't have a wing blade, but picking up these rural roads, and as we annex and get more, I'd like to have the ability to get the ditch, get pushed off the edge of the road.
Yep.
Without that, we're edge of the roads as far as we're getting, and, yeah.
So they're basically gonna start talking about like what everyone's comfortable moving forward spending, or how does that?
Kinda.
I think we need to have, I've had conversations with everyone and then we're updating, we're talking about Tahoes and trucks and there's comment, well, maybe now we need to go new. We apply that same knowledge, it makes sense in one aspect, but okay, you say brand new. Are you talking 350 new or are we talking, and so I just want us to have that conversation of, let's give Aaron some direction and we know that we're gonna need it. Are we at the size right now that we're gonna use it constantly? This summer we wouldn't have used, or winter we wouldn't have used it a lot. We would have needed it, and it would have been more efficient.
I'd have used it every time. I mean,
Yeah.
it'd be a
This year especially.
snowy venue, yeah.
Yeah.
And then hauling rock, that's what every town our size does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
So
would,
the question
We
is,
never, growing up here, we never did not have one until 2020 when we got these Rams and the Peterbilt went bye-bye. So that mistake never should have.
How old was the Peterbilt when we got rid of it?
14 years, I believe. I think it was 2006.
I'm sorry.
Peterbilt. You remember how old that was?
Was it anywhere near wore out?
No.
Remember 2006?
That's where my mind goes. If you can find something that's 5 years old for half the price of $350, it's gonna be decades by the time we wear something like that out. So,
Finding that is hard to find looking.
yeah, yeah.
It's either, it seems like it's a year, brand new to a year or two old. Somebody gets it, decides that it's not big enough, or it's too big or something, or people run them into the ground and you get a rusted out frame that's shelled.
So they're looking
There's-
at,
What's the delta in price for the year or two old one? The 225 might have been an outlier from up north, right?
Possibly,
Okay.
I would think, yeah, the 250 to 350 to get what we need.
What do you,
Finding many on the used side with a wing blade on them is hard to do. Because there are a lot of counties and bigger cities that put a lot of miles on them. But I don't know.
and then outside of like winter, what else is it used for?
Haul a rock when we need it. I mean, it's one of them, it's a necessary evil. So. Kind of, I know it's not apples to apples, but we buy lawn care equipment for 4 or 5 months out of the year. We need snow equipment for the times a year we do that.
Yeah, but you're guaranteed to mow 25 times a
Right,
year.
right,
You might push 4 times or 30 times.
right.
I think it's just getting a comfort level. You know,
Right. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I'm still in the camp with, put something on the tractor and buy the cheaper plow tractor. That's just me.
What would you use to move the rock then?
We shouldn't haul rock. It's not cost prohibitive, unless we're just hauling it from Public Works to potholes in town. For us to drive to Irwin or Ames, you're just burning cash.
Right. That's a good point.
Because a single axle dump truck's gonna haul 6 tons. So now you're depreciating a $300,000 asset to drive 43 miles up to Ames, and you can pay $11 a ton to have somebody else do it to their equipment.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. That's why we don't own dump trucks.
I think Aaron has some options. He's looked at some of those box blades and stuff for the tractor.
That doesn't offset the plow truck though.
No, no.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. The push box would be fantastic. That'll help in town, but yeah.
I know it doesn't completely offset.
No, yeah.
And they were kind of getting best of both worlds. I mean, for those years that we have, all the extra snow events, and you get some recruits versus the years that we have hardly any snow events instead of having a $250,000 asset sitting around. I get it. I can't disagree with you one way or another.
I get where you're coming from too, but the cost doesn't matter, the amount of snow doesn't matter. If we have a snow event, that truck's rolling. It doesn't matter if it's an inch snow or if it's a 12-inch snow and 40-mile-an-hour winds for 2 days. That truck's being used every time it snows.
Right.
Once again, it's one of those costs of annexation and growth.
so you're saying more miles, cheaper truck if you go that route?
I want to stay as neutral on this as possible.
Huh. As we're looking at you, man.
What's
you're
the typical
thinking.
lifespan?
Depends on the use. Like, we had 14 years on the last one we got rid of, and the only thing really wrong with it was, well, other than the emissions issues we went through, but It was a mid-mount salt spreader, which ended up being a bad deal because it threw salt everywhere underneath the frame and in the air brakes on the rear end and started to just rust everything out of the back. Not terrible, but surface rust, but I would guess 10 to 15. 10 on the very, very, very low end.
I guess sidebar, I guess who makes the decision on using salt over sand, or is it cheaper to use salt, or?
Oh, I don't know who made the decision. It's been that way the longest.
It's,
I've been
it
around.
depends on the event.
Sand's a disaster because in curvy gutter areas, then we don't have the equipment to sweep and then we're spending money backing out storm sewer
Sure.
lines and everything. It's a lot messier. We don't spend that much in salt per year for what we've got.
I guess I will say this, I'm gonna remain neutral. If we're gonna buy something that's north of 150K, I think we need to be patient with our pole in the water and just strike when, and be ready to do something. And not just go out and say, hey, here's my budget of 250, 300K, and I can buy this in 7 different states.
Right.
I want the needle in the haystack if we're gonna spend a bunch.
Yeah, I mean, you're
And
starting
we've got
looking,
time.
That's good.
now's the time to start looking, right? They're gonna,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just for information, new on the lot right now is available. New as in go down to Truck Equipment and say, I want to go to Peterbilt and buy that chassis and have you build it, is 18 to 24 months before we see one. So it's a find something used on a lot or find one that a bigger dealer, nothing in Iowa has probably, but you see quite a few Wisconsin, Minnesota, those truck dealers up there that'll stock, 6 or 8 of them come late summer, fall, that they've had ordered and built already sitting there. I'd love to go hand pick one out and have it built, but we're not, that conversation should have took place 3 years ago if we're gonna do something like that. Yeah, that one I found, and Kirk and I looked at, I showed you and looked at there early, late fall, midwinter, would have been perfect. Yeah.
What was the one that sold for like 150 or 175?
I don't
That
remember.
was,
Yeah.
No, we looked at several. I think you guys just give some guidance. I mean, Jared started off with guidance and
Yeah.
give Aaron a parameter and, we'll work within that.
I mean, I could get the okay to buy one more, but I would like to find something, I'm not wired that way either. I'd much rather, 3-4 months, get through late summer and see if something pops up after the winter season's over. Is anybody, any municipalities gonna start trading or getting rid of anything that's what we need and look that route.
so how do they decide parameters on that? Like, they just have to come consensus on, here's my range
Just
of,
say, I mean, Jared said, anything over 150 or whatever, I think you guys start talking about that, what's your comfort level, and let's, kind of move. I know it's an uncomfortable thing to discuss, but what's more uncomfortable for me is him needing it and wanting it. Let's just have the hard conversation, and, we are growing, I think we can manage it financially. I understand the point that there's some concern that they don't want to buy a $350,000 vehicle that sets. So if you don't want to do that, then how do we back off of that sum? And I think we can meet that goal. I mean,
I guess how do,
I'm okay with the truck idea. I'd sure like to find something in that 2 to 5 year range that isn't hooched out.
Well, I'm gonna say this, and I hope I don't make it bad. I came at wanting new, sitting here 2 months ago when the chief's vehicle was brought up and used Explorers weren't good. You said it was the city equipment needed to be brand new. That's why I came with new. So
bring in receipts.
I look at that as two, that's an apples and oranges.
it is, but I mean,
Utilization.
use is use, and I can find a 5-year-old bigger city truck that might have 20,000 miles on it, but it might have 100,000 miles worth of idling hours in the summer, blocking road construction or anything like that.
Which is why engine hours matter.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah?
Yep, I do not have to have one by any means, but I need a number somewhere, max, if we have to go that route, what can I do? I can't look, it's kind of along the same lines as the buildings, I can't go out and look, oh yeah, I'm interested in that, well, just had a council meeting, I'll be back in 28 days to let you know whether I can get it or not.
Well, I've heard one number.
I guess how do we want to figure out, or figure in the use of the sale of the 2 Rams to figure into that overall number?
How about this? Set the purchase price of a truck at 125, and whatever you get out of the other 2, that's your budget.
I guess, do we want to try to sell the other 2 before we get a new?
I would think so.
I would like, as soon as I know we're out of the woods, 100% here, I'd like to get them cleaned up, you know.
So Jared, you're saying
A couple days detailing them and get them out and listed.
if we're on the low end of 120, like 245 for a budget on a new dump truck?
Yeah, somewhere there. I think you'll end up somewhere in the 120 range on your 2 Dodges.
I mean, yeah,
We do it.
Yeah, you're in that 2 to 240 range
260,
somewhere.
270, 275.
I'd be thrilled at 250. That just, I mean,
Yeah.
I have very limited experience in looking for dump trucks.
Right.
Haven't done it a whole lot, so, yeah, if we could find something around 250-ish, you know, where we're paying 125 in addition to what
Yeah.
we're selling the trucks for, I think would be ideal.
Because those trucks are paid for, right?
Yeah.
The other thing is, if he spends 2 to 3 months doing this and comes back with evidence and says, here's what I found, here's what I can't find, then we have a discussion.
I mean, do you think that's feasible to find something in that range?
So, I mean, I'll look, more than willing to look, yep.
Yeah, I think that,
Find
So
something.
set the base number at
That's
125, and then
Anything over that,
anything over that,
Or what?
1
set a
quarter.
base number, like if you were to just go write a check today, the budget's 125. When the Dodges sell, whatever you get out of those, you can tack on top of the 125, and that's, sets the ceiling. Is that what you guys interpreted of?
yeah,
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
And then that just comes out of the annual budget yearly on forever, however long that loan's worth, kind of thing, or what's the coming out of loss?
We'll keep it all within his budget, and we'll keep the Dodge money add to the 125.
just out of curiosity, I know it's budgeted for the 2 F-250s. What are you looking at for cost on those?
I just looked, 55 and 62.
Okay.
And that was the bill price. I haven't gone to Stu, Stu Stivers. I'll do a Stivers, talk to the government.
Yeah.
Pricing guy, yeah.
Then you got, no, what, 12, 13,000 bucks on plows. I don't know, do they do government deals at Hawkeye or?
No, they don't. Yeah.
But you're almost stuck going to Hawkeye, right?
What's that?
You're almost stuck going with Hawkeye.
Either, Hawkeye's got Boss, Truck Equipment's got Western. I'm running Western now. I'd like to go back to Boss because the majority of the people around here run them. And if I,
And they sell parts of.
town lawn care, it's right
There's, yeah,
Yeah.
get the parts real quick.
That last blade we had, there was a time or two I'd break a spring in the middle of the night and be able to call Scott and say, hey, you know, give me your door code, get in and get a part, and just be responsible for getting one and putting it back on his shelf the next week, so.
Right.
Yeah, you know, so yes, blades will be on top of those. I was gonna talk to Christie a little bit before she does her next amendment, but we'll get to the end of this year, probably May, June time, and start looking at really just actual street budgets and see what I can do. And then there is enough in a checking, Public Works checking, or checking account to buy a blade too, so I don't want to get into that if I don't have to, if I've got it within the current budget.
Yeah.
I could just do those 2 and then, yeah, so that would be a great setup and then give us or not give us, but that would allow us to have the truck, my daily truck now, just kind of not get rid of, but there for use, and we break a plow, we break something, we've got a truck to keep rolling. that's not costing us anything
What's the time frame you wanna sell the 2020s
right now.
right now?
Well, soon as we're out of the end of the month,
Yeah,
probably get them cleaned up and listed, we know we're out of the chance of needing them.
yeah.
Yeah.
And we're paying this outright, no loan, right? Is the plan?
Those are already budgeted, right? The two?
No, the plow truck, sorry.
Oh, the
is-
plow truck,
is
yeah,
planning
that'd
on
be-
paying
Yes.
no loan,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, there's no note on those trucks. Okay.
No, and we won't have a note on the two to be ordered. Those will come out of,
And you don't have any notes on any of them, do you?
no.
So much easier having these conversations when we're dealing with cash.
Right, cash money, right? Yes.
The F-250s, what engine are you looking at in those?
Is it six?
The diesel or gas?
Yes,
6.8 or the 7.3?
6.8.
6.8?
I think, yeah.
That comes with a light duty transmission, it's not the full heavy duty transmission.
Right.
So, if it was my money, for an extra
It's not
$1,000,
much.
$1,500
Yeah,
per
it's
truck,
not
I'd go to
much.
a 350, because all of those come with the 140 transmission, not the
Yeah.
100 transmission. That's what I would go with,
Okay, I can look at that.
yeah.
Why not diesel? Just out of curiosity.
We've got-
$13,000 per truck?
Because we've got one Ram that's diesel for if we need to pull equipment or doing anything. What we've sunk in maintenance and oil, the difference in oil changes and filters. And I just don't think we see we'll wear the truck out before we'll wear the motor out.
Yeah.
And I don't know, unless you guys have a different idea, I think as long as we've got one truck that's capable, we don't have multiple backhoes going in play, you know what I mean? We're not,
I'm just asking. I don't know.
90% of our stuff is utility trailer with a mower or a skid loader behind it that we can handle.
Well, and with emissions on a diesel, if you're not running it, it gets clogged up.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, so that'll be a conversation for a couple of years from now on the 2017, like when we're doing something with that. It's to the age where we just kind of need to put together a plan and know, hey, put them on a rotation. We've got 3 or 4 trucks that every 2 years, one of them's cycling out.
So it seems you guys got a plan on the dump truck then? 1.25 plus?
Okay.
And then, I'm just assuming the 35K for the tractor push, that's not something we really need to negotiate or talk about? I mean, that's a no-brainer, right, for in-town use?
I think so.
I think you just go buy that Daigle, the one that I sent you. Good. Do you know anybody at HVG? Trucking?
No.
He's like the only person in Des Moines that runs them. He does $4.5–5 million a year with the snow removal.
What brand are they?
I think it's Daigle. I'll find it. I can't remember, but he swears up and down by it. He's probably the most finicky, ill-tempered individual when it comes to buying things and expecting them to perform, but he's also a bull in the china shop, so if he's happy,
I've heard a lot of good things about Metal Plus too.
that's the brand.
Okay, yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why
Yeah,
something.
built a little heavier, ready, meant more for street use. We'll take a little bit more abuse than just a parking lot grade snow contractor. Yeah, yeah.
What are you using the tractor for again?
Right now, we're using it for nothing but mowing.
And what would you use it for?
Like commercial, you see in mall parking lots, our highway target, the metal box on the front to push snow with. And gives us sitting up a little higher, move a little more snow. Tighter turning radius for doing cul-de-sacs, since everybody's approving through P&Z all these developments with nothing but cul-de-sacs in them, so the equipment to clear them out is great, yeah. Yep.
5 of them in the other room.
Oh, I know.
Right.
I was hoping the microphone would go that way.
I guess here, if we're gonna buy the Metal Plus plow, do we need to buy the other V-blade on the pickup? Because you have a plow truck,
Yep,
or a big plow truck.
yep,
And then you would have technically 3 pickups with V-plows, and then a tractor.
yep.
I mean, it's $12,000. end of the world.
And that can be something too that I don't right away, just knowing that it's in road use tax reserves, and we decide, hey,
I just hate to go buy 2 new plows.
we
every
need
day
a
and
little
then
more
a plow
growth.
truck and then have one sit and be like, oh, we're not even using this.
right. Yeah,
But I guess worst case scenario, you have a backup new plow.
I was gonna say, how old are the other ones that are on like the 16, the 17?
the 16 was bought with the 16, same year. And the blades that are on the 17, the 220s, can't go on a 3/4 ton, I think they are entirely too heavy for even the 5500s we have. I wish we could just swap them over, that'd be great. And we've done that, one of the ones that's on the 20 came off the 20, was that 2011 or 2012, that we rolled onto the next truck, but Dodge or Ram has since weakened, lightened up the front ends of their trucks and not built for those heavy blades anymore.
So everybody good on the, I guess, the dump truck situation? Any more questions about that? The 1.25 and plus the, whatever the sales? We're good on the middle?
I'm good with that. I'll start looking and see, put some feelers out to dealers and see if they know. I might be able to get a hold of somebody, that knows, hey, something's coming up,
Yeah.
who orders a couple a year and rolls them out after low miles and low hours and can find something, so. Yeah,
More questions up front then?
Nope.
I'd be thrilled. Anything to make it easier for my guys doing snow, it's not the most fun thing to do in the middle of the night, so. If it's more comfortable and, less stressful.
Do pay attention when you're looking at trucks, do pay attention to the window sticker and what the transmission is. If it's like, I think it's a TorqueFlite G, that's not the one you want.
Okay.
You want the other one, the regular TorqueFlite.
Okay.
I believe all 350s come with it because it's a heavier frame.
Yeah.
250s with the gas engines, you
just
can't
want me
find
to
them.
Aggravate my back driving around town in a stiff suspension truck.
Anything that comes snowplow rated is gonna have stiff suspension.
Oh, I know. Yeah, no, that's good to know.
Yeah, you just want the biggest transmission.
Last thing I want to do is turn around and get rid of 2 problems and get another one, so.
Well, I just got rid of an F-150 that had that same 10-speed, just the smaller version, because I did have trouble with it. So,
Any other questions for Public Works? We have about 10 minutes.
Nope.
We'll need to.
I think that's all I had on the front page, and then like I said, the back page, just a list of what we have and wish or a want of replacement gears, but we're sitting pretty good if we can get, And I know, I appreciate that's a big bite to chew right at once, all of this that I brought to you tonight, so.
I have just a quick question. As part of the tracking of stuff, is that tracking, I don't know who I'm asking to, maybe Christie, is that tracking stuff, we're tracking time, hours, all that stuff on equipment? Does that stuff come with GPS? So I was just talking to a buddy of mine and they had some equipment stolen and everything was GPS finally. Do we have stuff GPS here?
No.
Anywho, I just thought I'd ask that question.
I think it'd be good to look into the cost of getting GPS for all the city vehicles.
Right, that's where I'm at with it, like,
Aaron and I talked about that some of the day. I said we've been getting those comments, so I think we look into that.
okay,
Just know what our options are.
yep, okay. So, we're good in Public Works?
Yep.
Thank you.
If you're bored tomorrow, swing by.
Is there something else we need to work through, Christie, for this?
I just want to get with Aaron, like amendments and stuff.
Oh,
Throw that, you know,
Yep.
eventually on that,
Yep.
on what we're planning, and then we'll have to figure out next year, like with the dump truck, you know.
Yeah.
So we'll do this session with next groups come in, what's their vision look like, what are their needs gonna be. And then we'll also do a infrastructure one, kind of walking through where we're at, community-wise, what are our plans for expanding sewer, expanding water, where we run it, what those costs may be. Part of that, saving that bonding capacity that's been some pressure on, why or why not go spend $3 million on a public safety building is, it's keeping that bonding capacity available. We spent money that we hadn't originally planned for to do Sycamore Street. And we have some payoffs coming, as we pay down debt, if we have large industry come, and most likely that's gonna be southeast of town, southwest of town, or west. How do we get infrastructure there to save the bonding capacity to do that? So I think we look at that. And we'll have a separate capital improvement night to do it. Go through that, Bob and I will go through details of where we're at. As the annexation moves through, how do we go east and go from there.
What's the estimated timeframe for having that infrastructure meeting?
We just need to, we can do that right now. It's time. When do you want to do the next meeting? Because we'll bring in police, fire, EMS together. Then we'll probably do park and library together. So we'll probably have 2 more meetings, and then a 3rd meeting we'll do infrastructure. So I'm thinking probably 3 more meetings, we'll wrap this up. And if the agenda isn't too heavy on a regular council meeting night, perhaps we lump someone in on that.
We do have the 22nd for the budget, so we could do another 5:30 for public safety, if that's what we choose. Or
Yeah.
just trying to save it
Yeah.
from meeting another
Save
night.
evenings.
But, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, if we got it already scheduled, let's,
I don't foresee library being too big.
No.
Works, I don't know what she's got going on, but maybe we could do that public safety before the budget meeting.
yeah.
We can actually do that right up to 7. It's just with this public hearing, we have to shut down for long, 20 minutes before.
So what's that night? You want to do
The
that?
22nd? That's,
do the
does that
22nd.
work for everybody if we did 5:30 again?
Do public safety, do
Oh, I thought that was tonight.
police, fire, EMS. Well, we have a time limit because of the budget hearing that we have to shut down by.
Mhm.
I mean, mine could take 2 minutes,
Yeah.
but yeah, 22nd will work.
We're also, we have a little bit of time, but Aaron, if you want.
I can make 22nd work.
But we'll want to have probably add him in also in on the public safety night. You say the 22nd? Is that
Yeah,
our meeting?
because that regular meeting's at 7, so. And we could, I mean, after that, parks and library, because it's just really the only thing we have on there is the budget. And if we already have, if we're approving, we're basically going to the proposed property tax levy rate. Per law, we have to have this hearing. That we could, start back up with parks and library after that. I'm just giving, if you want to, it's up to you guys.
Yeah.
Could you guys?
Might as well.
Baseball
Whatever
start.
for you guys.
Yeah.
There's probably, well, I don't foresee parks and library being as much as,
And then we'll do police, fire, EMS, parks and library on the 22nd. And then we'll have, at some point, near future, do infrastructure.
does that work for you guys?
Sometimes in
plan.
May, April's quite full.
Yeah, so we'll be down for 20 minutes.
Right.
So we have 10 minutes if you want Chief Cox to talk to some
It's
individuals.
gonna take a couple minutes if you guys.
Yeah.
Go for it, Joe.
Knock it out.
I've spared something for 5 up to 10, 15 years now. Pretty simple. Ours, it's just vehicle and personnel in a building. It's first 5 years, current staffing, we got 3 full-time officers, 1 part-time right now. I put in there the Ford Explorer, that's what we're expecting. And then we have the 22 F-150, the 20 Tahoe, which you guys know, we get a new motor. So we extended its life. So we're looking to get another, I think, 5 years out of it.
Yeah.
I think we'll get another 5 years out of it, should anyways. 5-year plan, you know, to start the public safety building within 5 years, you know, is what it is. I think we've talked about it a lot, so. Maintain 3 patrol cars, you know, at the end of it, you know, evaluate kind of the need for a full-time officer, depending on population growth, depending on where we're at in 5 years. I don't know that answer. I mean, we can have a guess, but, you know,
Yeah.
you know, at the end of that 5 years, we gotta evaluate. And then, you know, expand community policing, maybe that school resource officer presence could be part of that that 4th officer, working with the school and adding a full-time guy who we could have during the summer and during the school year, they're in the school full-time. And the fleet plan, you know, adding that Explorer hopefully, and then replacing the Tahoe in here, I got 2030, 2031. And I'm hoping that new motor should put us in pretty good shape with it, you know. Then look at the F-150. Trucks usually last longer than cars in my experience, except for yours.
That one hurt, Joe. It's fine.
Then the 10-year plan, once again, population, you know, depending on how close Grimes is, Johnston is to us, you know, I know they want to come up through this way. Look, additional 1-2 officers, and that's all population they call, you know. I can't answer that really right now. Fully, you know, if we have a public safety building, really use all of it at that point. You know, we'll look at the replace the Explorer around 2035, 2036, so about 10 years. Training and investigative capabilities. 15-year plan, grow to 5 to 6 full-time officers. I think that's, you know, once again, depending on population need for that. You know, that's 15 years from now, so that's not going to be my problem. I'll hope the
How old are you,
incoming
Joe?
chief.
How old are you, Joe? Come on now.
I got 11 years left. So I hope the incoming chief to make sure he's got the right personnel. You know, and at that point, you know, we got to evaluate, are we still fitting in the public safety building? Do we need to move somewhere? Does the fire need to build something else, like a secondary location or something? But, you know, it's 15 years. And police is pretty simple. Vehicles and a building, you know, public safety building. Mainly vehicles right now, you know. That's kind of our mobile office. So if we have a vehicle, we have an office. We have our computers in there, we're good. You know, I was asking Aaron if he was getting rid of his. I was calling dibs on the old public works building.
Used to be a jail.
Yeah. It'd just be going back where it was.
It still feels like a jail, doesn't it?
That's not a little paint can't work, cover up.
That's right.
Be safe from a tornado.
Any questions after initial look?
Like I
Yeah.
said, it's pretty simple.
Payroll checks the box. We discussed all the other meetings about kind of cycles and.
So I
Yeah.
want to make sure we did approve the 2026 vehicle at our budget meeting, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. To move forward? Okay. I'm just finishing up on my budget, so I just wanted to make sure we're all on the same.
Yep.
Okay.
Did we figure out where the 15,000 went, or the 10 or 15,000 that we got the grant for?
Well, it's not, oh, the one that fire brought us? No, yeah, hasn't been spent yet.
Any questions for Joe?
Nope.
If you have any questions or anything, just reach out. Like I said, it's pretty easy.
Fair enough.
I would probably shut
Thank
down.
you.
Sweet.